I'm Joe McPhee, and this is the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame Inductee Profiles, and my guest is Lynn Caldwell. Lynn was born in 1942 in the Hamiota area. He was a great third baseman in the Manitoba Senior Baseball League, being selected the top third baseman on their 40th anniversary All-Star team. He was the first All-Star team member 9 times and a second All-Star team member 3 times. Over a 13-year career, he batted .285. He also led the league in RBIs for 3 consecutive years. As a youngster, he played in the 1957 Pony League Championships in Iowa. And he was a member of the great Hamiota team of the 60s that won 5 MSBL pennants and 3 championships. Lynn was inducted into the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame in 2004. Welcome, Lynn.
Thank you.
Tell me about starting out your career in baseball. Growing up, and where did you start playing, and who helped you learn the game?
Well, we were very fortunate. We had good coaches and helpers at Hamiota, and seemed to be after the war that we had a very good group of interested sports fans in Hamiota, and my granddad, J.D. Caldwell, was one of those. Mm-hmm. And they formed a sports association and hired Murray Richardson at that time. And so he, while the rest of the teams were very good, he gave us the instructions and everything, and I felt we were farther ahead in some of the other communities at that time. Right. So we were at it with that, and I guess we were fortunate enough to have Gladwin Scott and Frank McKinnon, and mm-hmm. So with our teams and with at that particular time we had quite a few of my own cousins, and cousins were, you know, Denny Smith and Dallas and Donnie and Brian, and then Mel come along later. Yeah. So we pretty near had a very close knit group. Right. Yeah.
So in the early days, there wasn't organized ball as we know it today. I guess the classifications, but a lot of tournament ball. Is that what you played originally?
Originally, a lot of tournament ball with the senior team. Yeah, our record, we had quite a record at July the 1st. Mm-hmm. For winning it for a number of years. Okay, and that was in the Bertle tournament? July the 1st. Yeah.
And where else would you travel to for tournaments?
Well, it seemed to be that that time that we had, Suarez was the August to the, that first weekend in August was the main tournament there, and of course we had, seemed like Brandon always had an invitation tournament later. Mm-hmm. And we had a very definite rivalry with a good team from Riverside, Seafoot Boys and Gene Corey, and we did have really good games with the Brandon Cloverleafs, mm-hmm. Tommytown, and so we had really good.
Did you start out as a third baseman, or
no? When I played with the Hamiota team before we got into the senior league, and I played outfield for them. Okay. And I believe at that time my brother-in-law Al Robertson was playing third, and mm-hmm. and his arm, he had an injury to his arm. Okay.
So he switched to seconds, and you moved to third.
To third, yeah.
Well, that was a great move for you, according to your record. Now, batting, you led the league in RBIs 3 consecutive years. What place in the batting order did you hit out of?
Well, for the first while, we had Dallas and Denny and Al. Mm-hmm. I batted 5th. Okay. And then as Dallas moved away for hockey, and Denny, I believe, along by that time, hurt his back. Yeah. And so I moved down to 4th cleanup. Okay. And it didn't. I guess it didn't hurt me. I had my own dad for coach for a lot of years.
Okay, and that was Lauren.
Lauren,
yeah. Right. Okay, you're another Hall of Fame member also. Yeah. Good. So, well, obviously you must have had some good players in front of you getting on base. Then is that the secret of leading the league in RBI?
That's definitely the secret. Yeah. You get have to get the players on base. And yeah.
Now that was back in the days when you used wooden bats, I presume, did you?
Wooden bats, yes. We did try try the aluminum bats and some of the practice sessions afterwards, but it didn't feel right to me, with being raised with the wooden one thing.
Right. And what about playing the game those days compared to what you see played today? Is there any differences that the way the game is played?
I see some very good ball players, but then the Hamyuta team and representatives we had on there, like
we're all top athletes.
Yeah, top athletes.
Yeah.
And usually when there was a playoff in the 70s and everything, there was quite a few Hamyuta players on the representation teams.
Right. Okay.
So.
Now, what would you recollect some of your teammates that you had that helped make Hamyuta so strong?
Well, I give credit to my cousin Dallas Smith.
Okay.
He was talk about a leader. Like Dallas was a leader.
Okay.
And when Dad had the cousins and that relatives the first few years there, we didn't know where to beat.
No.
We'd come back in, the last inning down, and Dallas and Denny would just say, "Well, boys, we got to get a few runs," and we dearly love to beat Brandon.
All right. The Cloverleaf.
Cloverleaf, yeah.
And you had competition with at that time also with Riverside.
Riverside and Dauphin as well.
Yeah.
Dauphin Redbirds.
Okay.
So we had some really, really good, rivalries and friends afterwards, really,
Okay.
So.
Because you would play with these guys sometimes, I guess. Was there provincial teams in those days selected?
Provincial all-star teams chosen,
Did you play on any of the provincial teams that went to tournaments, nationals?
I went to it was held in Brandon in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
And we started off reasonably well, and then I don't know, it rained one Saturday afternoon, and it just seemed like the whole thing changed.
Oh, okay.
But we had a good representative, Cliff Seafoot, and the Riverside boys, and a couple of the top ones from Brandon, and then 2 or 3 from Hamyuta.
Right.
And Glennis, of course, we played with Glennis Glennis. And Gladwin. And,
Okay.
and it seemed to be when Gladwin coached us after Dad had retired, and it just seemed to be he installed, we're winning. We're going to win, boys. And that's what we kept. And
Now, as a youngster, you went on into Iowa in 1957 in the Pony League tournament there.
Yes.
How did that come about?
I guess at that particular age, I said, oh, well, that was, something was special.
Yeah.
And, but we had a representative team, and we practiced at Verdun, and we rode down on the bus, and that was a terrific experience for us, going way down to the States to play, and I think we lost in one of the finals in our category, and our top pitcher at that time was Neil Amy, that lived just between Hamyuta and Crandall, and we had a really good time.
Who would have been your coach for that?
Coach at that time was Murray Richardson, and my uncle Jack Caldwell helped as assistant coach as well.
What's it like to have your dad coach the team?
Well,
more pressure on you?
I don't know. He just expected you to do your best.
Okay.
And I guess that came from down the line, because Grandpa J.D. always, if you're going to do something, you might as well do it the best you can. And we followed the senior Hamyuta team all over east side of Saskatchewan for tournaments when Dad played. And
Okay.
so that was our Sundays.
Yeah.
You know.
Good. Good. Well, thank you very much, Lynn.
You're very welcome. Glad to be on.
This has been Joe McPhee for the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame inductee profiles, and my guest has been Lynn Caldwell. Okay.
Okay.